All right, here we are. So everybody keeps asking me, not everybody, I shouldn't say that. A lot of people ask me, how did you get started? What's the magic sauce to be successful? What do you sell? That's everybody's question. What do you sell? Um, and I understand all those questions. I asked the same questions, guys, when I started, and I met um, the first person I met that I really knew was selling well was Jason T. Smith. I met him in Philadelphia, eBay Open or an eBay Live or an eBay something. And my first question to him was, "What do you sell?" It's what you ask people. What do you do? How are you? What do you sell? Well, I am no different. I mean, I ask the same questions. What do you sell? How much money do you make? All those questions I asked. But when I started, I was, I don't hide this. I was homeless. I didn't have a roof over my head. I didn't have big checkbooks or, any of that. I was in Florida, um, couch surfing on a buddy's couch. I'm very thankful and grateful for that. Gave me a chance to clean up a little bit, and mom called and said, "Hey, Dad's got Alzheimer's. He's not doing good. I need you to come home. I have nobody. Um, my brothers and sisters were married with families, and I need you to come home and help with Dad." So I did. Um, and I had sold on eBay before. I sold timeshare free vacations. You used to get these certificates that you could buy, and you sell the certificate for a free vacation, and they were legitimate. People got the 3-day vacation, um, and I sold those. This is going back years, uh, um, but now that I'm successful, people want to know how I did it, guys. Honestly, I've told it. I've told this story. I've told everything time and time and time again, and it really isn't complicated. I found a product that I could sell, flags. I started with flags. Anybody that has followed me any length of time knows that I sold flags to start. It was my first product was flags. Chinese made American flags is what my first product was. And Don't Tread on Me were the two flags that I bought. Um, this is going back before Lori and I were married. I had never been married. This is how I got started. And it was not easy. It was just as tough back then as it is now to start. I don't think it's any different. I don't think it was easier back then than it is now to start. I think what the big difference is for most people is that they have more rules. There's more restrictions and more rules. It may be a little harder, but it's still, you buy something, you sell it. It's not, there's no rocket science to what we do, this reselling thing. And you have to understand that if I had to start over again, I probably could. and build something up to be an income similar to what I have now, but I can't do it now because I don't have the same drive. That's the one piece that everybody misses talking about. It's the magic sauce that makes it work. The bearded picker. I'm trying to think of people I know that you would recognize their names now. Jason T. Smith. All these people have this tremendous drive to do what they're doing. It's more than just going to a couple of Goodwills, buying a couple of things, and putting a couple listings up. There's this drive factor that keeps them going. Yeah, Scott is on the road all the time. That takes tremendous drive to keep doing that day in and day out. I don't know how he does it. I guess if I was in his situation, and that's how I made my living and that's what I had to do, I would get up and do it. I am a person that does what needs to get done. And a lot of people overlook that little piece that makes some people more successful than others. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal. I'm trying to be real careful about how I choose my words. But that drive made it so that I got up in the morning and built my listings. If I was selling these honey roasted whole cashews that my wife got at Dollar General, I believe, I would list them. Most people buy a can, they put it on eBay, they sell a can, they buy another can, they put it up. I would list these as a 1-pack, a 2-pack, a 3-pack, a 5-pack, a 6-pack, a 12-pack. I would run them with free shipping. And then I would change the price. I would lower the price and charge shipping so that I got the same price as I did if I was, doing free shipping. I would run, I would raise the price and put them on sale. I ran 3-day, 5-day, 7-day buy and nails. I figured out every possible way that I could sell these honey roasted whole cashews, no matter how it was. Hey, Ken, everything's great. We are in Laughlin, Nevada. We're really enjoying it. And I'm trying to get back into making these videos for you guys. And it's not that hard. I know a lot of people go, oh, I'm going to do VCRs. I'm going to do women's dresses. I'm going to do men's T-shirts. I'm going to do cups. I'm going to do VCRs. I'm going to do electronics. I'm going to buy this and that. Guys, when I started, I sold one item. I sold flags. That's it. I didn't even sell all the flags. I sold American flags and Don't Tread on Me flags. I had a case of each. Inside of a case was 100 flags. Now you got to remember, these are Chinese-made flags. That's what I started with. I bought one box of each, 100 American flags and 100 Don't Tread on Me. They're called Gadsden flags. The man that originally designed the flag, his name was Gadsden. What I did was I listed auctions, buy it now, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day, 1 day. My auctions were 99 cents. I would run them for $2.99 with a $4 shipping, or 99 cents with a $6.98 shipping. The same thing I did with the buy it now. And all these things still can be done today. How do I know that? I actually do it on a lot of products. I have products that I list in numerous different ways to generate an income. But I just wanted to start talking about how I did it. I basically got up in the morning and went to work. And I know it sounds like a pie in the sky. No way is that all it is. There's something that I'm not doing that it's so different. Honestly, guys, I got up in the morning and I built listings. I took care of my dad. He had Alzheimer's. I babysat him. He was 80, I forget. I want to say he was 80 years old. And it was like having a full-grown 2-year-old. If you've ever had a child, someone with in the late stages of Alzheimer's is like a small child, except for they can reach door handles and knobs on the stove and the water in the bathroom. I don't know how many times I had to run into the bathroom because I all of a sudden heard the water running in the bathroom because he forgot to turn it off. Think about a 2-year-old that forgets to turn off the water after they wash their hands. They wash their hands, they run out, oh, look, I washed my hands, but they didn't turn the water off, and it can cause issues. And I don't regret a minute of that. I want you to understand that. That was some of the most educational times in my life was when my dad had Alzheimer's. I learned a lot about him. I learned a lot about how he grew up. I learned a lot of the knowledge that he had over the years gained. He didn't understand some of it, like Ronald Reagan came on TV one day and I said, that he used to be president. And he flipped out. He remembered him as an actor. You know, he grew up when Ronald Reagan was an actor, and he don't remember him being president. He remembered him being an actor, and he freaked out. But I got up and I built listings on eBay. I did my shipping. I didn't try to do it all. I didn't sell flags and water bottles. I sold flags. It's the only thing I did. I was watching a video before I did this. Robert Kiyosaki I had to watch a lot of his videos where he pronounced his name to understand how to pronounce his last name properly. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He uses this thing called focus. It's a synonym for basically it says focus on one thing until you're successful. Focus on one thing until it's successful. So I focused on selling flags. And listen, there was a lot of shiny objects back then on eBay. I focused on selling flags. I made a promise to a friend that for 2 years, all I would sell is flags, to give it a chance. And I'm telling you, I sold flags every possible way there was. I sold them on eBay. I sold them on street corners. I have pictures of me standing on the street corner selling flags. I sold them door to door to car dealers. Gas stations, they would have 10 American flags out front, and I'd go in and say, man, your flags look kind of run down a little bit. $75 and I'll put up all new flags for you. I learned everything I possibly could about flags. When I got a question, I knew the answer. When I was building listings, they became very easy for me to build because I knew the words to use. There's only so many words you can use with a flag. Polyester, 3x5, outdoor, because it was made for outdoors. Single-sided. How does the print operate? How do they get the flag to look like a flag? It actually starts as a white piece of material. It is flooded with dye, and the detail is lasered in on one side with ink. The ink is allowed to run through to the other side. They put just enough ink through a computer so that it shows up on the reverse side. If you actually look closely at a printed flag, one side is not quite as sharp as the other side. The reverse side is a little duller. It's because the ink is applied to the front side, not the back side of the flag. That's how a flag's made. You know, why don't they make double-sided flags? Why isn't every flag not double-sided where it reads right on both sides? Here's why. To make a double-sided flag, you actually need 3 flags. You need a flag, the other flag, so that the print is right on both sides. And then you need a sun blocker flag in the middle, usually black. The reason that you have to have a flag in between is the sunlight will go through the material and the design will be shown through because of the sunlight. So you need a blocker in the middle, which is usually black. That's why POW flags are very easily made as a double-sided flag. Think about the extra weight of 3 flags trying to fly out on a flagpole. On a POW flag, what they do is they cut out the center and they sew 2 centers onto a black flag. And that's how they make a double-sided POW flag. American made. We're talking about American made now. Chinese made, totally different story. They're double-sided flags. They just take 2 flags and stitch them together. It's not the same. But that's how I got started on eBay. Guys, that's all I did. There's no real magic sauce. If you want to know how to get to the next level, that's a different story. If you sell on eBay and you are making a living, not a living, if you're making a profit, let's say profit instead of a living, because this can be used by people that work part-time. Sorry, guys, I had to move the computer back a little bit. If you sell part-time, full-time, however you sell, and you are able to make a profit, and you want to get to the next level of sales, that's a different story. But a lot of people want to know how I started. What did I do? What I did was I learned how to sell one product on eBay. Once you're able to sell one product, you are able at that point to start duplicating it. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions about this stuff, guys, feel free to throw them in the comments. I can see them over there, and I'll do my best to answer them. But there's really you don't have to buy a program. You don't have to buy anything if you want to learn how to sell on eBay. It's very simple. You build a listing, you sell it for a price, and you work your way through it. It's like anything. When you learned how to walk, you fell. You got up, you took a couple extra steps. Eventually, you were able to walk all the way across the room. Hell, now some of us walk for our health, 7,000 steps or whatever it is. My wife's out there right now walking through the mall. She wants to get her steps in. We're back in Laughlin, so she wants to get her steps in. Guys, starting on eBay is one thing. Becoming successful like I am, I don't want to make this like I'm bragging, but to grow your business, that takes something else. That's a different question. How did you grow your business? How I grew my business was with systems and processes and everything became a very boring checklist job. When I sold, once I learned how to sell flags profitably, I then built a system of how to post the listings on eBay so that they were constantly going. There was new listings. As you know, eBay favors new listings, listings that are getting ready to end, auctions, the first day, the last day, short time. All those things, I learned how to build a system so that I took full advantage of that. But when I first started, all I did was get up and list and list and list. Everybody says it. Jason says it. You got to list. My sales are down. I listed and they went up. Everybody who talks on YouTube about eBay says you have to list the items for sale. If you're going to make sales on eBay, you have to make listings. It's plain and simple. It's not fun for most of us. If you have a system, listen, it's easier now with these smartphones than it was when I started. When I started, you had to take a picture with a camera. I remember it was an orange chip. What was it called? Something. And you could put that chip in the camera. Now, this is years after I had started selling. You could put that chip in the camera and you could take a picture and it would send it through the Wi-Fi to the computer. That was a big deal. But you would take pictures of your items on a camera. Then you had to upload them onto the computer and use an image program to crop them and do the adjustments that you make. We didn't have a smartphone where you just went into the sell similar. It puts in a bunch of the specifications and stuff for you, like the eBay app has now. If you have an Apple, eBay will actually take out all your background for you. Everything I did was a system. I learned how to take pictures of all my items at one time. Every pair of jeans, when I sold jeans for, I don't know how many people actually know this. I sold jeans, used jeans. I found a place that I could buy jeans on Sunday for 50 cents a pair. Kind of a store like Goodwill where they have the color tags. And on Sunday, certain colors were 50 cents. And we went in, and Lori and I would go spend the entire day in this store. They called me Mr. eBay because I would fill up one of those Uline cloth canvas bin things full of jeans. We'd spend upwards of $300-400, 50 cents a pair, guys, for jeans. Every pair of jeans was photographed exactly the same. It was laid out, picture was taken, it was folded so you could take the tag, boom, cuff this. But however, there was 8 pictures. I think it was 8 pictures for every pair of jeans. Those jeans had a number assigned to them when the pictures were taken. What happened was it actually had a bag that went with it, with that number on it. Hey, Arthur, how are you? Oh, sorry, I missed something here. Now, then those jeans were measured a certain way. Now, I didn't take a tape measure each time and pull it out and lay it on. I actually taped the tape measure on the desk so that I was able to do it quickly. And when you do something over and over and over and over and over again, hundreds of times, you become very fast at it. I didn't have to look up jeans. I sold them for one price. They were $9.95 a pair plus $6.95 shipping priority. Every pair of jeans I sent out were folded and rolled and put into a flat rate bubble mailer. At the time, they were $5.95. I made $1 on the shipping because eBay took, um, what was it they took? I charged $6.95. They got about 15%. So they got about $1. So that's why I charged extra for the shipping. I mean, it was a complete system to sell jeans, but that's all I sold was jeans. And I sold volume. I didn't have to look up a repairs. I know there's that brand, Just Your Daughter, or Just My Mother, or My Sister, or whatever it is. You know, I listed them for $9.95. Gloria Vanderbilt's, I found a lot of those, $9.95. Whatever pair of jeans I got, $9.95 was the price. And the sales were phenomenal because I just had a system. I would buy all those jeans and they get listed throughout the week. Sunday came, we went and bought more jeans, and it was just, I paid 50 cents after eBay fees, after shipping, after cost, after this. We made, I don't know what it was, $6 or $7 a pair. We sold, 200 pairs a week. We had an income. And that's what I did. Every single thing I did. Now, Laura's asking, do you think having a business name on eBay is better than just using your name? Do the customers see that as better, more trustworthy? Laura, I try to get to know my customers personally. I do have a business name. It's EHT Flags. I don't hide that. It's been the same for 13. This is my 13th year in business. When I sold Amish dresses, I actually had a whole write-up about me. Get to know your seller. And there was a whole thing about who I was, why we did what we did, how we did it, and what it meant to buy from us. I talked about my faith in God. I actually had a rabbi email me back. Him and I had many conversations in email about our faith. I asked him questions. He asked me questions. It was really nice. I took the time to do this. Guys, when I said I worked 20 hours a day and my wife would wake me up on the keyboard because I fall asleep like this, my head down on the keyboard, she'd come out and wake me up. Come on, you got to come to bed. I go to bed for a few hours, get up and come back out here and go to work. I've told the story 100 times. The day we buried my dad, I got up, I did all my shipping. I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, did all the shipping for that day, went to the funeral, carried his casket, put him in the ground. I did not even go break bread with my family. I went back to work. When we went on vacation, I packed everything in the car, whatever room was left. Lori and Robin got to use for their personal items. The business came first in everything. It was not easy. But I was able to build what I have. And they kind of frown on that now. You used to have a about me page on eBay and this and that. They kind of do less of that. So what I've been doing is pushing my the newsletter, and I put a lot of information out in my newsletter. I did. Now I haven't been doing the newsletter in a while. We're starting the newsletter again through eBay for email marketing. There's a lot of things. But in honesty, guys, I really just want you to understand that there is no magic sauce to make this work. It's your dedication. It's hard work. You got to get up every freaking day. This is my 13th year in business. I can't remember the last day that I didn't get up and look at my business in some form. I don't care how sick I was. I don't care what was going on. I looked at my business in one form or another every single day, every 365 days a year. On leap years, it was 366 days. It was not easy, but it wasn't hard. It was simple in that I didn't need a college education. You don't have to do anything fancy. You have to buy stuff and list stuff. If you're going to do one offs from Goodwill, you have to buy it and list it. If you have a death pile, everybody calls it a death pile or a profit pile. It's not a profit pile unless you list the damn shit on eBay. I'm sorry. It's not profit. It's just wasted money sitting in the corner until you list it. If you go out and buy and buy and buy and don't list it, you're a hoarder. Sorry. So in the end, guys, honestly, it's just getting off your ass and going to work. There is nothing magical about it. You can ask Scott, you can ask Sue, you can ask Steve, you can ask who else is there? Any of the people that sell any amount on eBay, they will tell you all you have to do is start, get up and go to work. You know, there's no real special skills. If you have a smartphone, put the eBay app on, and it takes about 5 minutes to list an item. There's nothing complicated. So with that, does any, I got 14 people watch me. I'm kind of surprised. My channel's been dead for a while, so I didn't expect a lot of views. I'm going to try and do videos more frequently. Sorry, my allergies are bothering me. If you're wondering why I keep rubbing my eyes. It's my allergies are bothering me. My eyes bother me a little bit. I want to keep making videos. Tomorrow night, I'm probably going to do a video about Dave Ramsey and Robert Kiyosaki, about being over 50 and broke. Don't think that I'm this big rich guy, guys. I work every day. I mean, I don't work every day as like I used to. I don't want to put out a misconception. But I don't have this big, huge savings. I'm over 50 and broke. Lori and I have her pension, my income from the company, but there's no $1 million stashed away. We live paycheck to paycheck like everybody else. Well, we have a little more than that, but pretty much we're paycheck to paycheck like the rest of America. I just happen to work for myself and sell on eBay. If you have any questions, go ahead. Leave them in the comments. Let me see if I can help somebody here. Don't be scared. Ask away. I can't promise you I have the right answer. I can't promise you I'm going to give you an answer that you like. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I lost a lot of people doing my art, my crazy art, psychedelic videos, and I'm going to keep doing them, guys. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I enjoy it. I find a great amount of peace in doing them. But if you like what I'm doing, subscribe. Well, it's over here. Subscribe. See, it's been a long time since I did this. Subscribe. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with that. You know why? I've accepted that your thumbs down improves what happens with the YouTube algorithm. So all the people that were running around leaving me negatives doesn't bother me anymore. In fact, I make sure that you can't see the thumbs up and thumbs down. It's only for the algorithm. And that's that. Anybody got questions? I'll give you a couple of seconds, couple of minutes. I was watching a video and it was saying, you got to tell them what you do and why you do it. What I do is That's great, Laura. But you have to start. Don't talk about getting started. Get off your ass and do it. The next time you're in here, I'm going to ask you, did you get something listed? I want to know, do you have something listed? That's a lot. A lot of people have that problem. Information overload. They just keep reading and reading and watching videos, and they never get up and do. And then they go, oh, he was lucky. No, I wasn't lucky. I got off my ass and went to work. I know people don't like me saying that, but that's what it is. I got up and worked. This was not easy. Working on Amazon today. Great. I like that. See, now that's actually doing. No matter what you do, you should be proud of that you did something. You accomplished getting started. Now, once you start profiting, you can continue to grow from there. Guys, I am going to do some videos on how I do my processes, how I went from starting selling flags to actually breaking down how I went how I build the processes and things like that. Sam Buys asking, do you pay yourself or do you withdraw money when you need it? I am paid. I have a weekly paycheck. Great book for you to read is called Profit First. It's called Profit First, and it tells you that you need to pay yourself. Because of laws, I must take a paycheck. I am a corporation, so I must take a paycheck. But I also take dividends because as a corporation, I have stocks, and I do pay dividends on my stocks, so I get paid for that. Dan Freeman says, I have 900 listings and work a full-time job. I'm 53 and started 1 year ago. See? And when you started, Dan, I guarantee you didn't have 900 listings. It takes time to get the 900 listings. I bet you got sales, pretty good sales with 900 listings. I'm not talking about profit. I'm talking about in relation to your 900 listings, how many items do you sell? And you probably have a steady flow of sales because you're listing, selling, and then listing more. And there's nothing wrong, Sam. When I started, I took the money when I needed it. Like if I sold something, we went out and bought soup so we could have dinner. A lot of times I bought stuff on a credit card, sold it, used the money from the sale, and then sold some more stuff to make the minimum payment on the credit card. I got into a lot of debt with this. Guys, I did not have money when I started. Dan says at about 500 listings, I started selling at least an item a day. The one thing I can tell you about my business versus probably Dan's and other people's and things like that, the big difference is I sell the same item over and over and over again. And eBay gives favor to my listings for that. For example, if I sell an American flag today and I sell another American flag from that listing tomorrow and to the next day, it moves it up in the search. It has to do with their algorithms and sell-through ratios. One-offs is a lot different. And in the beginning, much like Dan, at about 500 listings, I was selling like one item a day, 2 items a day. As I learned to use to sell good till canceled type listings where I constantly had American flags for sale on that listing, it moved up in the search. You know, when I was doing it mass shotgun approach, I was trying to catch people. It was a shears numbers game. By selling the same items over and over and over again, several things happen. One, I don't have to build the listings as often until I add new items. Two, as I sell more on that listing, it moves further up in the search, so I don't have to promote it as much or put it on sale as much, and it makes steady sales. I have less than 1,000 listings on eBay. I don't think I built any new listings last year in 2018, and I did about 100,000 in sales on eBay. But I sell the same items over and over again. They are new items. They are not used. And eBay favors that. I also do promoted listings twice a day, every morning, every late afternoon. They are redone, promoted listings. Do I get sales from it? Absolutely. I run sales, I run specials, I run coupons. There's a lot of things you can learn to do once you start selling on eBay. The magic sauce is you just have to start. Dan is the perfect example. He started a year ago at 500 listings, about 500 listings. He started to see sales every single day. If Dan continues building his business or his side hustle, I'm going to guess, Dan, this is a side hustle for you, because in your first statement, you said you have a full-time job. So I'm guessing this is a side hustle for you. But if he kept building it, he probably could replace his full-time income. I don't know what he sells, or what his profit margins are or anything like that. But he's making money at it. I'm sure he'll tell you that he's making money at it. So, guys, with that, I really need to go. Lori will be home shortly. It is quarter to 7. So early. And 2 days ago, it had been quarter to 9 for me. These time changes mess with me. Look for my video tomorrow night. I'm going to be talking about Dave Ramsey and Robert Kiyosaki. I see these two guys basically talking about the same thing from different sides of the fence. They talk about money, and they work two different audiences, and a lot of people like to compare them. I think if you take a little bit of both, you can have a really good financial plan. Guys, as always, remember, God loves you. God bless. You got to get off your ass and go to work, and it'll work for you. All right, guys. You guys all have a good one. And remember, give me a thumbs up. I could use some positive in my life. No problems, Dan. Anytime, man. Come around and I'll do my best to fire you up. Guys, have a great one. Good night.